got it twisted, we don't care about feelings, this shit about business.
All I see is commas, 20, 50, 100, racing to the money.
Yo, what up? It's S. Dot.
And Holly.
And we back again with another video. Today we got the Real King Von story documentary. Link to this video in the description box.
Zambado.
Gang shit in LA shit, you feel me?
Just got top from this river big chicken cake, kicking ball of Glock with a full clip.
Wanna play with me?
You know what? I'm sorry. I wanted to say something real quick because I feel like somebody has said something about like, oh, we they was saying something about like we had reacted to Von crazy stories and then we started liking him. It's like, what happens? Don't you see some shit and then you like it? What the fuck? You can't help what time and point of view you came in on it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah, I guess I just wanted to say that like the crazy stories go hard. Like,
bitches go crazy.
like that's what got everybody in tune. So why is it like, you know, I don't know, I guess, you know, they be projecting weird energies and stuff, but I just wanted to address that a little bit. Yeah, put it out there.
On November 6, 2020, Davon Bennett, better known as King Von, was pronounced dead from gunshot wounds. This is his story.
Picture a no man's land with broken windows, dark abandoned buildings, no law and order. There are carefully demarcated areas controlled by rival bands of armed militia fighting over the rubble. Nearly every night there's sniper fire. It sounds like Beirut, but in fact it's America. A creature of state, local, and federal government. The product of bad politics, failed policy, and official neglect. It exists, unseen except by those who live there, a stone's throw away from some of the most valuable real estate in our nation's third largest city.
Davon Bennett grew up in one of the roughest neighborhoods of Southside Chicago, Parkway Gardens, also known as O Block off of 64th, not 63rd. In the Gardens, he was known as Grandson, referring to his relationship with his grandfather, David Barksdale, one of the founders of the Black Disciples.
Started with Larry Hoover. Larry Hoover was a House of Dreams gangster. David Barksdale was a devil disciple.
Growing up, his life wasn't bad for what it was. Although he didn't meet his father until 8 years old, due to him being locked up on and off all through his early childhood, his mother and stepdad did their best to make sure he had what he needed. Davon was an A and B student and even enjoyed playing baseball up until around high school. Growing up around poverty and violence in Southside Chicago, it's almost always inevitable to get involved in trouble.
It's easy to...
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's true as hell too though. And it's like that everywhere, you know? It's not even like in Chicago, it's just how it is.
I was raw as hell at baseball too.
Yeah.
My brother was raw as hell at baseball. I got like, damn, he was raw as hell at baseball too.
Right, like everybody just played baseball, that was the shit, you know?
I was dunking on niggas too, but you feel me?
Oh,
Oh,
you tired? Boy,
yeah. Boy, don't play with me.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's almost always inevitable to get involved in trouble.
It's easy to go on the block than it is to go to school.
Although he denies ever being part of a gang in his younger years, he admits to taking an interest in the street life. Davon's father would pass away and his grades would start to slip. He soon turned to crime himself, starting out just stealing bikes and other small things. But at the age of 15, he would catch his first case, unlawful carry of a firearm. Unfortunately, it didn't stop there. He would spend time in juvenile detention twice before the age of 18. Missing out on most of his teenage years, he wouldn't go more than 6 months without finding trouble with the law. At this time, he didn't know these run-ins with the law would be small problems compared to what was coming. On May 29, 2014, a man by the name of Malcolm Stuckey was sitting on his porch with two others during a birthday party. Two men would approach him with loaded guns and open fire. Although they tried to flee down the street, Malcolm was shot in the head and died on the scene. whereas the two others involved
Is this-
were wounded
this not
but
it,
later
is it?
survived.
This
Initially, only one
like-
person was arrested for the crime, Michael Wade. But after more evidence rose, Davon would find himself potentially facing 100 years in prison for murder and 2 attempted murder charges. He would spend the next 3.5 years in jail. He would have time to reflect on a lot of things. Meanwhile, he's locked up. People he's known since a kid would start to blow up off rapping. Lil Durk and G Herbo's careers were on the rise. Although he didn't know whether he'd ever be free again, he did take inspiration from what they were doing on the outside. He began freestyling and beatboxing in jail to pass time because there was nothing else to do. Taking after his grandfather's nickname,
Hey, it'd be funny as hell when they be saying motherfuckers start beatboxing. Like, stop lying, man. That
Like,
ain't
how the
nah.
fuck
He might have though.
He probably wasn't beatboxing. He probably was like, you feel me with the, you feel me? Niggas talking about beatboxing. It's not called beatboxing. You know? It's called something else.
He said that boy was up in there talking about.
Like, boy, don't play with him.
Boy.
Boy, don't play with him. You feel me? Ooh, damn. This sad as hell, man.
Yeah, it is, man. Bring my nigga Vaughn back,
Supposed to
man.
be here rapping and shit.
taking after his grandfather's nickname, King David, he would get the nickname King Von from his cellmates who knew David, and they said the way he handled himself in the street reminded them of him. In 2017, after spending 3.5 long years in jail, his trial would only last 5 days. Michael Wade, who worked with the police trying to reduce his sentence,
This was
was
the
given
one
20
behind,
years,
yeah.
while Davon, who didn't cooperate, would be acquitted of all charges, and 4 hours later, released back into civilian life. Wasting no time after being released, he began writing his first raps. He drew inspiration from urban novels as well as his own past experiences to write his
Man,
first
what's
songs.
that? That's
Although
alright.
spending so much time in and out of jail was something he never wanted to experience again, he admits it helped shape the person he was and made rapping about it easier. In late 2018, he began releasing music after linking back up with the now superstar Lil Durk. Lil Durk would co-sign his music from the beginning, where he even uploaded his earliest songs on his own YouTube channel to help bring attention to Von's music. After the release of
Man, that's dope.
I was love. Niggas do not like sharing their clout. Even if they got niggas, they do not like sharing their clout.
Yeah. I ain't even know.
his earliest songs on his own YouTube channel to help bring attention to Von's music. After the release of a few songs, he had already begun to build a fan base. Drill music peaked between 2010 and 2015 or so, and with the popularity of it decreasing over recent years, King Von's captivating way of telling just about any story over a drill beat with what looked like no effort at all would bring a refreshing and much needed new style to the drill scene. His early single Problems had brought him some traction, but just a few months later, on the last day of 2018, he would drop his single Crazy Story, which told the story of a robbery turned shootout, and his life would change forever. This song would blow up almost instantaneously. Childhood friend and co-signer Lil Durk wasted no time hopping on the part 2 of the song after signing him to his Only the Family label. To further his career and by personal choice, he would move out of Chicago and relocate to Atlanta. In 2018, he dropped his first official mixtape titled Grandson, which featured more collabs with Lil Durk and Booka 600. But with fame and fortune almost always comes beef.
Don't. Boy, don't play with me.
Booker T, look at that.
Right, boy. That boy name ain't no damn Booker.
You wild as hell.
Yeah, you don't need to know his name anyway. Look at that and all.
Yeah, it's Booker, yeah.
It's
yeah.
Booker, yeah. Just in case you tell somebody, tell him it's Booker T. You feel me?
Mr. Washington, what they call him.
Okay.
And Booka 600. But with fame and fortune almost always comes beef. It seems trouble was something that always found its way back into Von's life, in one form or another.
Hey, gang. Yeah. I'll stop playing with Oslo, bro, for real. No, that shit be hurting for real. Fuck no.
It seemed like every few months or so, Von found himself in a debacle online with another rapper. I mean, how many times a week do we see a rapper dissing another rapper? In today's world, we see this shit all the time, especially online. And in most cases, nothing ever happens. In 2020, Von would release 2 more projects, LeVon James, and later Welcome to O-Block. The tape would peak at number 63 on the Hot 100, which is in fact very ironic. By then he had gained so much popularity, his tape would feeture big artists from all over.
He wild as
Don't be
hell.
doing that. Don't be doing that.
He
Don't be
said,
doing
which
that.
was very ironic.
Very
Right, and
ironic.
then when I said 36 next to it.
By then, he had gained so much
I'm about to play that a
popularity.
lot.
Oh,
the
that's
stage
what
would
it's like,
feature
gotta
big
play
artists
that.
from all over. He was just beginning to be solidified in the rap game. And then,
And GBI investigators still here on scene. This shooting made national headlines as officials confirmed one of the 3 people shot and killed was rapper King Von from Chicago, who was here last night with friends.
what started as a fight outside of an Atlanta hookah lounge would turn into King Von's fatal last moments. It has since surfaced that the entourage of people behind the shooting of Von are associated with the rapper Quando Rondo. While it's nearly impossible to figure out if King Von and Quando Rondo have beef of their own, they clearly bear the truth.
That nigga don't look like me, man. Stop saying that shit. Y'all let me wild as hell talking about.
Motherfuckers wake up, but hella, Hollywood says out here.
Right.
Bro, they look like you.
All of them mentions like, goddamn, hey, don't mention me with that nigga. 'cause
It's just,
you
it's
feel
just
me?
the nose. That's all. Some people got the same nose. I'm gonna find somebody in here. Watch. I'm gonna find somebody I got the same nose with.
Nah, this nigga don't look
Oh,
like me.
damn. Let me get it off of this.
It's nearly impossible to figure out if King Von and Quando Rondo had beef of their own. They clearly ran with 2 different circles. Von was signed to Dirk, and Quando was signed to NBA Youngboy. Because they were so close to these more experienced rappers, it's possible that the beef between Von and Rondo was actually tied to the relationships with Lil Durk and Youngboy. Although it was never really confirmed, people did believe that Von and NBA Youngboy had some type of issue with each other after Von posted a picture of Youngboy's ex-girlfriend. Regardless of the reason why this all started, the truth is nobody deserves to die at such a young age. Von was just getting started. It's actually crazy to think about the fact that we won't be able to see what his full potential was. But one thing is for sure, music doesn't die, and his footprint will remain.
Facts. That's facts. What that is fucked up. Because I wanted to see, like, you know,
Well, he
that boy was
finna
gonna
do
get
that.
1,000 plaques, be everywhere, you know?
Yeah.
It was like,
You-
I guess I want to see too, because you know it always be like a transition and shit. So I wanted to see, like, you know. But rest in peace, man.
I was ready to hear some more of what he was gonna drop next because I know he had some crazy shit coming.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to see how he was gonna do the rest of the crazy stories and shit. Rest in peace to King Von, man. Long live King Von. Go check out the documentary for yourself, man. You feel me? Go stream his music. Go download it.
All that.
Sonny has that. Don't forget to follow us on social media.
HollyXS that.
Yeah.
Bitches got it twisted, we don't care about feelings, this shit about business.
All I see is commas 20, 50, 100, racing to the money.